This right here is Car Con Carne. Car Con Carne is a Q101 podcast. I'm James Van Oslo, Car Con Carne is sponsored by Easy Automation, easy-automation.net. If you're looking to transform your home, your office, your business into a smart, seamlessly connected space, you got to talk to my guys at Easy Automation. Whether you're looking to upgrade your restaurant, your home, your office tech, they've got you covered. Their expert team designs and installs personalized systems, everything from smart lighting and climate control to audio-video distribution and robust Wi-Fi networks. Everything is managed through an intuitive app on your favorite device. It's easy. Easy Automation makes technology work for you effortlessly, reliably, and always with your satisfaction guaranteed. Visit easy-automation.net or just talk to Dan. Dan's awesome to talk to. He's a good pal. Call Dan, 630-730-3728, and take control of your environment today. Car Con Carne is also sponsored by Exploding House Printing. They do amazing work. If you're in a band, if you manage a brand, if you're just looking for merch, these are your guys. Exploding House can help with everything. Screen printing, embroidery, all your merch needs. They're local. I mean, truly local. They're in Hermosa, and they focus on small businesses and brands, musicians, everything in between. They've worked on products for Meatwave and The Empty Bottle and The Music Box. You can see the whole list or the list on explodinghouseprinting.com. Jonathan at Exploding House Printing, he's the guy behind it all. He's been doing this for literal decades. He knows what he's doing. Besides technical expertise, he delivers production efficiency and cost awareness to offer boutique print shop quality at much lower large print shop prices. Check out the work on Instagram at Exploding House, or go to their website or email info@explodinghouseprinting.com and get yourself a quote. I am recording this on the northwest side of Chicago. I am just a couple doors down from the side entrance to Beat Kitchen. I love Beat Kitchen, one of my favorite venues in town. One of the loudest small rooms in the city. I love Beat Kitchen. The reason why I'm here is Kid Congo Powers. He's an iconic punk guitarist, a wildly inventive solo artist. He's an author. He's a storyteller. His resume includes legendary runs playing guitar in Gun Club, The Cramps, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. He's also been doing his own thing for decades, most recently with Kid Congo and the Pink Monkey Birds, who are playing Beat Kitchen as I'm recording this. He's a prolific recording artist whose discography is super deep, varied, innovative, and fun, also screaming for repeat listens. I think rock and roll has become harder to define as the years have advanced, but whatever that definition is, he fits it.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
All right, so we are outside the Beat Kitchen. I knew, Kid, if any touring musician would understand that it's okay to jump in a stranger's car in a strange city, you'd be the one to play along.
Yes. I've done it my whole life.
Well, your whole life is chronicled in this book, Some New Kind of Kick.
Yes. And as you will know in that, I was a teenage hitchhiker.
You were a lot of things. What a storied and fascinating career. The red thread, I think, really is just you're a music fan.
Well, that's it. That led the whole thing. I was a huge fan, and I never would have imagined that I'd become a musician, because that was a line I didn't know you could cross. Really, there was the fan, and then there was the rock star.
Well, and also, I mean, you talk about in the book, growing up Latino, gay. These were not things that were publicly talked about in punk rock or mainstream music in general.
Damn, anywhere. But it was like, there was all these obstacles that maybe society puts on, but also self put on.
Sure.
Put on myself as a young person trying to, find their identity and make their way in life. And being Chicano was very, for me, and I've talked to many Chicanos especially since I've written the book, was very much 1 foot, like, am I American? Am I Mexican? Am I
Well,
I'm queer? Am I not queer? Am I bisexual? Am I young? Am I old? What am I?
and did I fuck up by calling you Latino?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
I'm very
I am Latino.
Okay.
Latino.
I don't want to say the wrong
yeah. It's easy to say the wrong thing.
I'm always very careful about that.
Yes.
But as you talk about in this book, you never dreamed that you could, be a career artist. I mean, there you were, the 1970s, discovering the Ramones, becoming a fan, becoming the president of the fan club. You've been doing this long enough, kid. Do you think there's some misfit kids somewhere in America right now discovering your music and kind of finding their way?
I know there is, because that's what kids do. That's what young people into music do. And, and if they're passionate about it, they're going to, turn over every rock and nook and cranny and go in there and, do some, archaeological dig to find out, what is the meaning of life, but what is the meaning of rock music and what's the meaning of, so that's the whole thing is that, I think there are kids, people a lot of the time say to me, like, the question is like, oh, don't you feel sorry for kids now? They don't have what you had when you did, and I was like, well, they have it. I do not underestimate young people. I think that there is an underground going on.
Yes.
And I think I don't know about it. And because I'm not supposed to know about it, all of these young people, if they are creating a subculture or mining what they find and new or creating their own new style of music and all, mashup of whatever they love. I think it's going on. I know it's going on because I hear about it.
And here's where kids today have it so well. If they find something that they're into or like, they can go down that rabbit hole so easily.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker now.
Yeah, like that instant gratification of, oh, I like this song, and this person played with this person, and they put out this. That's the best.
Yeah, and also they find out about, for me, it was reading magazines. It's the same thing, really. I just bought several magazines, Rock Scene and Cream magazine.
Of course.
And, looked at the British magazines to see what was going on there, the NME and stuff. But, and I would find out, like, say, I was a teenager into David Bowie. I'd find out what movies David Bowie liked, what books he read, and I would read them all, and I'd see these films, I'd seek them out. Same Patti Smith, the Ramones, everyone, it's like, oh, the Ramones, like, the Shangri-Las and, or the New York Dolls, like the Shangri-Las. Ramones like the Ronettes.
Yes.
And the Herman's Hermits, whatever, they're a mixture of these things and, regurgitated and repurposed into a new language, and I wanted to know that language and learn that language and then eventually teach that language to other people.
That's awesome. Hey, you mentioned Bowie. Pink Monkey Birds is your band. Obviously, lifelong fan. Bowie has been top 5 for me since I was a kid, and I keep finding new things about Bowie to love and appreciate. For me recently, and I don't know if you feel the same way, I reinvestigated his 90s stuff, and I think I dismissed it too much as it was happening.
Yeah.
I came back around on Outside and Earthling and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think you're not alone there. I dismissed it too. After seeing Tin Man, I was like, Tin Machine.
Yeah, Tin Machine, yes.
They were the Tin Man. No, I was like, oh, terror, that was awful, But then I actually did see them again when he did the tour with 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
And that was incredible. But the incredible thing was that 9 Inch Nails did their set first, and then David Bowie joined them, and then they made a set that half the audience left.
Same
and I walked right to the front of the stage,
Same thing here. Was in Tinley Park outside of Chicago, and I remember that. At that moment, 9 Inch Nails couldn't have been more white hot.
They knew they were shit hot at that time, so they were introducing him to a young audience that may not have known him.
Well, naming your band what you did, I mean, that's a choice to name your band after a David Bowie lyric.
Yes.
That makes a statement.
Yes.
That kind of locks you into something.
Well, I'll tell you well, this is the thing, is that I was starting, this was my solo band, and I was starting it, and I had a band in New York, and of course we had no money, no audience, no anything. And, I couldn't pay anyone anything. You'd make $50 or whatever. And, so I said, and the band said, well, we want a name. You can't just be Kid Congo Powers. So I was like, I'm going to be And I said, okay, pick any name and I'll say yes. And they said, the Pink Monkey Birds. I think thinking I'd say no, never. And of course I was like, that's brilliant. Yes.
Of course. Of course.
And then we've had it ever since. So thank you, New York Germ Nucleus Band.
I feel like you are constantly creating. We just got used to That Delicious Vice, and now you've got Tuscon Safari ready to come out next month. Music seems to just pour out of you.
And Juanita and Juan with Alice Bagg, another. I don't know if you've heard that one yet, but that came out this year too, which is me and Alice Bagg's lounge act.
Love it, which makes the point. Yes, you're prolific.
Well, I'm a musician. I'm supposed to make music.
Fair. And as you mentioned, lounge stuff, the smoke is the ghost on That Delicious Vice. I love the loungy vibes on that one.
Oh, thank you.
You've got that aesthetic nailed. Well, let's talk a little bit about Tuscon Safari real quick. This is a dialogue between two guitars, two, on paper, conflicting guitar styles. Mm-hmm. Like the lyrical melodic guitar and the big fuzzy psychedelic freakout guitar that you do.
So, this is with a guitarist named Naim Amor, and he is a French-born man who lives in Tucson, Arizona since over 20 years. He's been there forever, so he's a Tucsonian. And he's a beautiful guitarist, and we have a lot of aesthetic things we like about each other's music, and I'm a fan of his music. Very soundtracky, very scenic, and the big Gretsch guitar sound, and so during the pandemic we had met, but we didn't really know each other so well. When the strictest lockdown happened, he contacted me and said, hey, I want to do these songs, and will you want to play on one or two of them, and we can trade files over the internet, because we couldn't meet, although we lived in the same city. So we did one or two, and then I just kept going on. And he said, well, I have this other one. And then I said, oh, I have this one. And then suddenly we realized we had a album's worth of material that was great, and actually hung together really well. And so that was kind of the made out of we were both very restless, and he's very prolific as well. He has like 4 or 5 bands and all different kind of genres of music, from French chanson to cocktail lounge music to, whatever, tons of stuff. And so, I thought, well, he needs something messy to happen, because he's it's very beautiful and very wonderful. Wow, wouldn't it be great if there's someone like poured some paint on him?
You are that mess that dropped into his life.
So and also I thought, he works so hard, and he's not super well known. I mean, he's known, of course, and he has albums, and he's worked with like John Comentino from Calexico and different people. I made records. But also I thought it would be nice for him to have a vehicle and bring him into the rock world, a little more. And so that was also a force, but mostly it was the collaboration. And I love the mixing. I love the alchemy of mixing styles. That's my whole thing is, what kind of potion can we come up with here? If we mix this with that, with the soft with the abrasive, or the ugly with the beautiful, or the sad with elation, it's always a nice experiment to make something out of those opposing elements.
Totally. And people can get a sense of this experiment because Surf Sirens is already out as a video. complete with a West Side Story knife fight under the Arizona sky, a dancing horse in a white suit.
Yes.
I mean, watching this video, watching any of your videos really reinforces my sense that you are living your best life at this point.
Yes. I mean, why live any other life?
But I mean, you're having fun.
I have fun. I have my share of crosses to bear, but and there's always business. We'll always put a damper on your spirit. But luckily, I kind of stay out of business. I work very independently. I work with independent label in the Red Records, who Larry Hardy, who runs in the Records, is a huge champion of mine, and I have a lot of goodwill going on with different people who want me just to be me. And for that, I count my blessings very, very much.
And you just said it. You are authentically you. And I think it takes musicians a long time. Maybe it took you longer than I realized. But
it took me a long time because I was a lot of other people too. In the gun club, that was a little more me because that was, I was part of the first creation of that.
Right.
But the Cramps, I definitely walked into someone else's vision. Very, very, very strong vision, and, adapted to that. And the same with Nick Cave, it was very much the identity and sound was there already. But they were amazing learning experiences and amazing music came out of it. And it was an amazing honor to collaborate with such incredible musicians, all of them.
And you still play on stage, like we're outside Beat Kitchen. You still play Cramps and Gun Club songs on stage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because there's no one to play them anymore.
Fair.
Fair. This is the thing. I don't do Nick Cave songs because he can go and do his own songs. But but the Cramps and the Gun Club, I always I like honoring, Jeffrey and his songs and the same with the Cramps. There are no Cramps. Me and Ivy are the last ones of that band, of that version of the band. And, so, it is nice to say hello to them and to remember them. And plus it makes the audience very happy.
Well, sure. And the crazy thing, I have a daughter. She is 19 years old. When she came to me with a song called Goo Goo Muck, because it was on Wednesday.
Yeah, of course.
Blew my mind. Like, how fun is that to see that kind of turn back around and hit a new generation?
And this is what you just told me is a story I heard 500 times from people.
I'm sure.
Like, finally, I'm a cool person with my kid. They're like, what? They're like, I know the guitar player. And they're like, what? How do you even know this song? Like, they can't even imagine that their parent would know this, But, thank you, Tim Burton.
Thank you, Tim Burton.
Thank you, Jenna Ortega, for that great dance.
Oh, it is a great sequence. It not only was the song in the show, and it was a highly memorable, rewatchable.
It was everything. Ice skaters in Russia were doing
that
dance in competitions and to have a TikTok sensation and stuff. But it was great because, I always thought that song should have been a hit.
Yep.
And then it was.
40,
50 years later.
Validation at last.
And it's a cover version, so it even goes back another 10, 20 years. So
I love it. And speaking of the Cramps, that's a band that you slotted into their vibe, their aesthetic. You kind of came back around years later and realized just how rich and rewarding that whole situation was.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about, I talk a lot in the book about identity, really, because were several and they were very confusing at times. Very sure, very confusing, but it took me seeing the Cramps. I was already doing the Pink Monkey Birds, and I hadn't seen them for 14 years or something, and they came to New York and invited me to the show, and we kind of rekindled our friendship, which was not really, we just dissipated.
Yeah,
it wasn't,
as happens with adults.
And I just saw them, and I was like, wow, my jaw dropped on the floor the exact same way the first time I saw them. But then I thought, like, what's going on here? Like, it's the same songs and it's the same 3 chords and it's the same everything. Then I was like, but why does it sound like it's from outer space and heaven all at the same time? And I thought, like, oh, it's them, it's them being them, it's what's coming through the fingers of Ivy and what's coming through the singing of Lux, and they're being authentically themselves. Yes. And it's been cultivated over a lot of years. And I'm like, oh, and I have been part of this and I know how to do that. I think the thing was when I was starting my solo stuff, I was trying to be something that wasn't the past. Mm-hmm. But they taught me, they gave me the epiphany that, oh no, you use your past and you cultivate your past, and that is where your strength will be, and, they didn't even have to tell me that. I just saw it and it all made sense to me. And that changed the Pink Monkey Birds music. And direction to be, okay, let's let the freak flag fly.
Yes.
Yes. And be yourself. A little embarrassing to learn that lesson in your 40s, but
it takes people longer. I think that's solid advice. And one of the things you touched on this concept in the book, obviously, is that you were kind of in touch with branding before it had a name in rock and roll, like having a bandality, like we saw in the Ramones with the bad haircuts and the leather coats, and the Cramps had a bandality. Like, I have a lot of independent Chicago-based musicians who watch and listen to this, and I think this is helpful advice. Like having a sense of who you are and what you want to be is a big deal.
Well, it's creating a world is what it is. And that's what I love about a band like Devo or the B-52s or the Cramps or Nick Cave and the Band Seeds or the Gun Club even. These are bands that consciously or unconsciously create a world, that you can visit and then you can live in, or you could decide, I'm living there. I'm living in that world. I'm going to live in that B-52's world, and I'm going to live in that Devo world. And that is the beauty of that, of music. And especially I'm thinking of music of the 70s and 80s, when that was a real thing, There was a band in Los Angeles called the Screamers who never recorded because they were so advanced. They decided they would never record and only make videos before there was an MTV or anything, but they were another band. It was like so high concept, and that was the thing, to make music that wasn't of the normal world, and you create an alternative world, a different world. I hate the word alternative, a separate world. Yeah.
Fair. You're also a horror fan.
I am.
I missed Spider Baby growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't part of my growing up.
I didn't see it till later.
Okay. Well, my familiarity with it came from you.
Mm-hmm. It's funny enough, I learned about it from Susie Sue.
Oh, amazing.
Because we were friendly, and she sent me, and one day she sent me this cassette with the theme song on it, recorded like on a microphone from the TV, and she's like, this is terrible, but I think the Cramps should do this song, blah, 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 blah. It'd be perfect. It's great. And then I had that, and they were like, oh, whatever, we know that song. We're not going to do that. And so years later, I found in a box this cassette with the letter, and I thought, like, well, maybe the Pink Monkey Birds should do this song. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
But then I didn't know the movie till she, that was, in the early 80s, late 70s, probably early 80s. But yeah, I didn't know it till then either. So, but it's great classic. I rewatched it recently. It's really holds up as a very lunatic fringe event.
Totally. So this is your go time. Fall is your go time as we head into Halloween. And Same.
Yeah.
We're sitting on a side street in Chicago. You've been here a zillion times. What do you think of when you think of Chicago?
good Mexican food.
Yes.
Outside of, I live in Tucson, Arizona, and I grew up in LA.
That's a strong vote of confidence.
And I think a wonderful city, you know, always progressive, you know, musically. You know, I came here with the Gun Club and the Cramps. You know, I came here with every band I've been in, and the audience has always been so clued in, you know, and the record stores were so well stocked and thought out and well curated. Always, you know, it's always just been a hot spot for music, and what a great city, very beautiful and tough and you know, all the things. It's kind of a great alchemy of different elements, you know. And so I you know, if it came to it, I could live in Chicago easily.
The irony, as you mentioned, record stores, there are probably more record stores in Chicago now than when you came through with the Cramps in the 80s. Just a strange twist of how things happened.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So the new album with Naim Amor comes out in October. Mm-hmm. Two more albums have come out in the past year from you. Why stop if you're having fun?
Exactly. Well, we have a new single we're selling on our tour here. You know, that's what I do. I make music. You know, I live in Tucson, Arizona now, and that's not a lot of distraction going on. So I have time, you know, and space.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like I lived for years in the East Coast, New York, and then DC, and then a bit in Connecticut. This is my partner's works for museums. He's a museum educator. And so those jobs are move.
For sure.
And
that's a cool job.
And I am mobile.
Yes.
So that makes it possible. But the space, I mean, the thing is, my in-laws live in Tucson. So every Christmas for years, we've been going to Tucson. And I thought, yeah, we could do this. And it's gorgeous, and the nature is incredible. And it's a city, but it's a small city, you know, and quiet. And you definitely get more bang for your buck in the housing market.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. And the autobiography is also available right now. Some new kind of kick.
Yes.
I love rock biographies. I love rock documentaries. Like this is a great one. And you're totally candid and transparent about everything. Like, have you always been that way, or is this just...
No, not at all. I was very to myself, and I very much grew up in a family that was like, don't talk about things, and don't talk about, don't talk about anything outside the family. Exactly.
Right.
You know, sully our name, you know, but I figured I'd sullied it enough already. So, but no, it was, you know, I wrote a first draft of the book, and the editor, Chris Campion, I gave it to him and said, I finished my book, look. And he's like, oh, it's great. The voice is here. Everything's here. It's really great. But you're not telling everything. And I was like, oh, shit. He's like, go back and do this. And, you know, he gave me all these prompts and, you know, and so, you know, that process went on for some years, because every time I would get into a very uncomfortable part of the book, I would like jump out of my seat and go like, I have to make a record and go on tour for a year. And then after that, like, okay, now I settled down.
Was it cathartic to put it all out there, though?
Yes. Yeah. Now I'm starting to feel it now as cathartic. When it first came out, it was kind of abstract and absolutely frightening, you know, very scary and very like, oh, wow, now I've done it. But so worthwhile from the reaction from people who have come to me, and all kinds of people, all different things, and you know, especially queer kids, and especially Latino kids, you know, Chicanx people, queer people, and just self-starters, people with, you know, I had no self-confidence, and I did stuff anyway, you know, so it was like kind of self-starting and like kind of pushing through that like imposter syndrome and this and that, you know, because like because it was quite a whirlwind once the band thing started. Like I started the band with Jeffrey, played guitar for 1 year, and then suddenly I was making records and going on tour around the world.
Right.
And I had to make it up, and that all seems very nice, but it was very intimidating and frightening.
The roadmaps were a lot less clear back in the
Yes,
those days.
exactly.
You couldn't read about it or watch a YouTube video to figure out how to have a successful career.
No tutorials.
Right.
Yes. But I did it anyway because I believed it was the right thing to do. And I believed that these people believed in me. Mm-hmm. These people believed in me. And I thought, if they believe in me, I guess I have to try it and do it, And plus, I'm a bit of an opportunist.
I love it. Well,
I admit.
Kid, I think you're a goddamn treasure. Thank you so much for doing this. Can't wait to see you on stage tonight. Thanks for continuing to come back to our city.
Oh, always. It's what I do.